thank you all for being here. My name is Elizabeth Kisten-Keller. I am honored to serve as the city's First Lady, and we are excited to be here this morning because the mayor and I are launching, together with a number of community partners gathered here, a challenge to inspire and encourage everyone in Albuquerque to step up and show everyone what makes us One Albuquerque. This citywide service challenge, the One Albuquerque Challenge, came together after conversations with a number of community leaders. And behind all of this was a chance for Tim and I, who both grew up here and are excited to be back in these new roles, to listen and learn from community leaders all over this city who shared with us a deep hope for the city of Albuquerque. And it's a hope that is born not out of some passive idea that things are just going to get better on their own, but rather a hope that's deeply rooted in the idea that we have a responsibility to take care of one another, and that we are a resilient and a resourceful bunch that have everything we need here: the expertise, the creativity, the passion, and the energy to solve some of our most pressing challenges. And ultimately, it's a hope that is rooted in the belief that if we work together across jurisdictions, across sectors, across communities, that we can create a better future for this city. So we are excited to launch this One ABQ challenge, which really honors the notion that we as a city rise and fall and rise together. And the idea was pretty simple. We were looking for ways to acknowledge this connectedness while celebrating the leaders and the organizations that do work day in and day out to move our city forward. And also looking for opportunities where we could connect individuals who were desperate to be involved and be part of the solution for Albuquerque, but often didn't know how to get engaged. So the idea for the One ABQ challenge is pretty simple. We are asking everybody in Albuquerque to make time in August to engage in at least one act of service. And then we want them to challenge their friends and their families, their colleagues, and their neighbors to do the same. And our idea of service here is pretty broad. We want folks to be thinking about how they might organize a project that's meaningful to their family or their community, or to just step up and volunteer for a project that already exists in a community organization. We want folks to inform others about all the ways to get involved. There are possibilities to donate time, resources, goods to organizations doing great work day in and day out in our community. And finally, an opportunity to celebrate with the community as we honor folks who are doing this incredible work. And this year, we've picked a theme for this celebration in conjunction with the ABQ Volunteers Board, many of whom we're fortunate to have here today, and in conversations with leaders across the community who evoked the past, the present, and the future as they talked about why connecting youth and elders, this year's challenge theme, is so important. As folks looked to the path, they noted that so much of the strength and the resilience of our city is rooted in intergenerational knowledge and relationships. As folks reflected on the present day opportunities, many noted that we have incredible organizations doing work to create a safer, inclusive, and innovative community by connecting folks across generations as well. And finally, as folks look to the future, we had one community leader who noted that all too often we talk about youth and elders as challenges or problems to be solved in a community. But what if she challenged us? What if moving into the future, we truly acknowledged both of these populations as true assets to the community and as powerful protagonists in the next chapter we write together? So we encourage all of you to start thinking about how you might get involved, how you might highlight an existing initiative or create something new that's meaningful to your community. And we've got lots of information on the website at cabq.gov/service about how to join. So our hope is that the projects and the initiatives that emerge from this month reflect the creativity, the diversity, and the needs of our community. And we are so excited to see what we as a city come up with together. what we accomplish together in this month, and more importantly, what we spark in terms of long-term connections, long-term learning, and long-term engagement for our community.
So we're very excited about this project, and it's such an idea that also helps us turn government inside out. This is something I've talked a lot about, and it's this idea that we all have a role to play in our city, and we're going to be outlining over the next several years how to do that, and this is really the beginning, another big step in terms of how people can be engaged. And so we want to kick off this challenge with also the Service Award, and I want to talk to you a little bit about these folks here. Jorge and Carlos of Bosque Heating and Cooling showed us the spirit of this challenge by connecting with Molly Holly, our 92-year-old here who has needed a hand, and they volunteered their service when she could not afford to fix a busted pipe in her home. And so we've got some One ABQ t-shirts for you guys and for you, Molly. And we can kind of showcase these because this is our kind of brand that encompasses in many ways what we're talking about in terms of coming together, and you're going to see this in a lot of different places. So I think we got kind of the sizes right, but we'll check. Why don't you flip through? That's a medium. That's going to be a little, that might be a little small for you.
We can redo them after.
Yeah,
swimsuit, you know?
So we're going to figure that out. You can kind of sort there. And then, okay. And then we also have 2 awards for you guys. So to recognize is sort of our first step in how this can play out. And I'll talk a little about this in a minute. But Jorge?
That's myself.
Okay, there you go. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for helping. Yeah, and for stepping up for our city. And Carlos, thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So part of this is, we're also challenging the whole city to do similar. And part of the challenge is actually to organize either your company and so forth or your neighborhood to actually have more of what happened here. So the idea is it's not just about doing a good turn, it's about organizing others to do good turns. And so that's the challenge before us in August. And so as Liz mentioned, there's a list of projects on cabq.gov/service. Want to emphasize that because there's great stories on there already, and this is really part of us taking ownership of our community, coming together as one Albuquerque to deal with the issues that we've got and also to help each other. So I think with that, Liz is going to share a few closing remarks.
So finally, as we're asking folks to step up to engage in these acts of service, we also want folks to tell the stories about what they're doing. How important it is for us, we have realized in these roles where you see the challenges Albuquerque faces up close, but we also have the extreme luxury that we get to hear day in and day out some of the amazing stories, the work that you guys have done at Bosque Heating and Cooling, and other folks all over this city that are stepping up to move things forward in a positive way. So we want folks to share the stories about how they're serving, how they're rising to the challenge, using the hashtag #ThisIsABQ, so we can spread those stories around our city. It's inspiration for others looking to get involved and ideas, and gives us a great chance to celebrate as a city what we accomplished together. Also, at about the halfway mark of the One ABQ challenge on August 12th, we will gather back here in this plaza for a celebration to celebrate volunteers and organizations doing this incredible work, and also to provide opportunities for folks who may not be engaged or plugged in to get more information about how they can volunteer with the city, how they can plug in with nonprofit organizations, and how they can connect with other folks who are inspired and energized about moving this city forward. So we encourage all of you who are here to come back and join us on August 12th. We'll be here from noon until 5 p.m. with fun and food, games, and music, and lots of information about how we move into the second half of this challenge, and again, continue to spread the ideas, the energy, and the inspiration about this work throughout the city. So I think with that, we'll open up for a couple of questions.
Mrs. Keller, the family has a gift basket for them. Would it be okay if we present it?
Oh, nice.
Yes, and so the family has a gift basket for the award recipients as well. They would like to present.
The guys.
Yeah, let's give them a round of applause.
And could we have them? Could we have the whole team from Bosque heating and plumbing, cooling show up?
Because we were just there.
Yeah.
They did the work, a lot of it, you know, so they really deserve
Come
it.
on up, fellas.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
See you. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you for all the hard work.
Where you guys go?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
This is so festive. Thank you.